Welcome to Dublin for another blockbuster evening of international rugby under the lights. It's edgy here. There's a nervous tension on account of last Friday's lacklustre defeat of the Irish to New Zealand. They were as poor as they've been in several years. So there's been some soul searching, and Argentina smell blood. They've never won here, but they've got every chance tonight. Serious PUMAS outfit this, complete with big recent Southern Hemisphere scalps as evidence. They've knocked off New Zealand, South Africa and Australia this year already. Caelan Doris knows that all too well. Two sides here this evening in rather different headspaces. Caelan Doris leading Ireland through, what shall we call it, a small period of self-doubt. Flat against the All Blacks. They've now lost 3 of their last 5. And Julian Montoya spearheading Argentina's challenge off the back of their best ever performance in the Rugby Championship and a convincing walloping of Italy last week in Udine. They mean business. And it's going to be a fascinating night. And the Aviva Stadium coming to life during the anthems. So the sides, the Irish had a testing time holding the All Black scrum at bay last week. They're still without Tyke Furlong at tight head prop. Finlay Bealham has another big night ahead. And the pack, of course, led by Caelan Doris, unchanged from a week ago. The only change to the starting 15 at inside centre, where Robbie Henshaw replaces Bundy Aki. Jack Crowley given the vote of confidence at 10. Testing game for him last Friday as well. Just one line break last week. Time to find their attack. A couple of big beasts return up front for the Pumas. Guido Petty at lock, Pablo Matera at blindside flanker, and a positional switch seeing Juan Martin Gonzalez move to the open side. Felipe Contepomi has brought back the hugely experienced Matthias Moroni in the centres. The only change behind the scrum. Albornoz at fly half, following a 20-point haul against the Italians. A couple of debutants on a freshened Irish bench in Thomas Clarkson at tight head and the exciting 21-year-old fly half Sam Prendergast. The Pumas have Santi Carreras back from injury and Justo Picardo, a debutant in waiting as well. So Henshaw slotting in for Bundy Aki. Brian O'Driscoll, interesting selection, that one.
Yeah, it kind of felt as though they needed some change of some kind. You don't want wholesale change just because it hasn't worked out in one game, but yet you still need to make a marker of some point and send a reminder to everyone that there is someone there to replace you if you don't turn up. It's very hard to go with the same outfit on the back of last week's performance, so Bundy is the one that misses out. Robbie Henshaw and there's not much between them anyway in the selection process, and Robbie came in and did a phenomenal job in South Africa during the summer, so maybe it's on the back of that performance. His lack of game time this year hasn't worked for him, but huge day for Ireland. There was talk of potentially 4 wins. That can't be achieved anymore. They've got to be thinking about 3, but starting with the first one.
Little juggle from the kickoff for Juan Cruz Malia, playing at fullback for the Argentinians, and a charge down and trouble potentially. It's swept up and tidied up by Oviedo of Argentina. A little panicky in these early stages. Referee tonight is Paul Williams of New Zealand, keeping a close eye on the ruck as Bertranu feeds it out. And another clearance that doesn't make it all the way, only to Lowe, who opens it up straight away. Hansen steps off that right foot, tries to create the space for Van der Fleer. Terrific start this from the Irish, pressurising every which way. Lowe again. Gibson Park. To the shorter side, Hansen floats one over the top. Keenan held on the 22 and held back nicely, and Van der Fleer again is launching himself into those Puma defenders. Crowley for Kelleher, slips it away to Henshaw. Good pressure this from those in green. Sweeping back to the short side again. Doris trying to bounce through those defenders. Crowley is, well, he's brought down, and I wonder if that was an act that the referee might want to have another look at. Argentina, in the meantime, have possession, and it's Pablo Matera who's storming his way onwards. Little dab forwards from Moroni into no man's land, where Keenan is waiting. Doris, Ireland keeping the tempo high, but back in their own half now. Hansen driven back in the tackle. Gonzalez at the forefront of the defensive effort. Crowley, ring rose to nobody, swept up, and away they go through Delguy into the 22 for the first time. Delguy tries to link. James Lowe got a hand on that. It's loose, and it's dropped on by Matthias Moroni. What a start. 2.5 breathless minutes. Ireland, who seem to have all the aces in the opening minute, have conceded the opening try of the match.
Ollie, unbelievable helter-skelter stuff from both sides, and it was Ireland, a couple of charge lines, had Argentina pinned down in their own half, and then all of a sudden they go up the other end. And maybe have a look at something here, Brian. Certainly with that head on Jack Crowley, wasn't it?
Green team. Okay.
And it's Maroney's challenge, isn't it?
Right. So we have a formal review.
Yeah, we need to decide if this is foul play.
That's going to be, isn't it? And a head-on-head collision.
Okay.
Just wonder what his body shape is like.
Is we've got head-on-head contact. We just need to determine whether or not we have foul play.
That's correct.
Just such a tough one. It is, because he is hinged at the hips. But probably
Keep
not.
rolling those replays, please, Richard.
Not enough. You'd hope it might
We've
only
only
be a
seen
penalty.
one replay, mate.
Yeah,
Please
I'd like
keep
to
them
think
rolling.
so.
Yes, I'll just get the angles now.
Both hinged, really. Look how low Jack Crowley is. But it is a serious
Just want
stump to
to
the
see
head,
full
isn't it?
speed too,
Doesn't
please,
look good.
Richard. Boys will let foul play.
Well, they're both
Well,
low,
I'll
but the
show
point
you-
is the
I'll show you
tackler
another
has to
angle.
make sure he's the one that's lower. It's his prerogative.
So, Richard, that there, I believe, is actually bent over, or do you believe he's coming up?
You'll have people sitting screaming at the TV
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, it's a
This is
rugby
gonna be your
incident."
best
You know,
angle, Paul.
Okay, thank you.
it's just a little unlucky, but there is an attempt
So
to
he
go
is
for the
coming up
tackle.
into
It's
that
just
contact,
he
isn't
just
he?
gets it slightly wrong. His timing
He's
slightly
upright,
wrong.
so it is foul play. It is
the
head on
decision.
head, so it is going to be a yellow card and an off-field review. Richard. Yeah. Okay, Richard, so camera back to me, please, mate. We have a decision.
Camera's on you.
Okay. So it is going to be a yellow card and off-field review. The tackler is upright and therefore always illegal. So the number was, please, Richard. So blue 12, head-on-head contact. He could have been lower. It's going to be a yellow card and off-field review.
So Matthias Maroney goes to the bin, and the man who moments ago thought he'd opened Argentina's account will spend 10 minutes off the field, and that yellow card will be reviewed in the bunker as to whether it should be escalated or not, Brian.
You get a sense
I
that
felt he could have been lower.
you hear the referee felt he could have been lower, but is there mitigation in the body height of Jack Crowley and maybe him just popping up?
Okay,
You'd
guys,
suggest
just
it
give
might
me time
remain
to
a
get
yellow
back
card,
onside. Just wait,
but you have to have a
we'll
huge
time
amount
back
of sympathy.
on.
These are
Back 10
happening in
minutes, please, guys.
hundredths of a second. The reaction
wait.
time is nothing, and that small change of direction
Foul play, high tackle.
is very inhibiting to these new rules. Very understandably, we've got to try and reduce body heights. We've got to try and protect players, but you're going to find those situations still in the game in 5 years' time because of the reaction time at test match level.
Well, we've already gone end to end and back to this end, and Ireland are on the attack, and Kelleher is storming upwards, and he's just inches away from the try line. Gibson Park feeds it out. Once more to the heavies, Porter round the corner.
Last feet.
Crowley darting, scoring! Don't take your eyes off this. 3 minutes, action-packed. Try ruled out at the far end. Maroney in the bin. Crowley on the board for Ireland.
Yeah, it's a sucker punch, isn't it, for Argentina? Thinking they were getting the first score in the game, being called back, yellow card, lovely peel around the corner. Kelleher, what a ball carrier he is, and when he gets motoring, he is very difficult to stop. Nearly gets there. He could have been selfish, reached out for the line, decided not.
Moving back.
Wrap around the corner, I think it was Caelan Doris.
You're way off the mark.
And then Jack
Thank you
Crowley
there.
backs himself to get over the line. What a start to this game. Huge
20
intensity
seconds
from
now.
Ireland, and that's what they needed after last week, Brian.
Well, there's the reaction you want from your 10. Disappointed to be subbed off on the hour mark last week. Felt he didn't do a huge amount wrong. And to get an early score, he's not prolific when it comes to scoring tries. He's only scored the one for Munster in his career thus far. That's his first international try, so it'll give a huge boost of confidence to a player like himself. We talk about taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Well, scoring from 5 out and getting your team a nice solid start to the game is exactly that.
Imposing himself early in Dublin here this evening, Jack Crowley. A lot of chatter in the week about that fly half shirt. Really tricky night for Kieran Frawley, who hasn't made the 23 this evening, and so much excitement surrounding Sam Prendergast, who waits on the bench for his opportunity on debut this evening. Crowley here releasing Keenan, and a little bit wider out they go through Henshaw. Big fend beyond the 10-metre line, or nearly. Gibson Park to Porter, who was tireless in his carrying a week ago against the All Blacks. Van der Fleer. Better handling from Ireland. This is slick. This is the Ireland we know. Tyburn to the ground. Doris, little tip on. That hasn't gone to hand, but it's tidied nevertheless by Ringrose. He slipped the net. Gary Ringrose has support. Gibson Park whips it wide. Byrne, inside ball. Hansen. Ireland flying in the early moments here in Dublin. Stung by the criticism. They've scored twice in 6 minutes.
The speed and intensity that Ireland are playing with at the moment, Argentina just cannot match the quality of their ruck possession, even when the ball doesn't go to hand. That breaking ball, and sometimes it's that drop pass when defences switch off for a fraction of a second. You can't do that. Someone like Ringrose will take advantage. And how often have we seen Gibson Park throw these passes out wide? And Tyburn would have gotten in himself, but very unselfishly guaranteed that his winger will be very, very thankful to get in for the second score, and just heaping that momentum, that early pressure on Argentina, exactly as they would have hoped.
And that is a magnificent... No, it isn't. It looked bang on target, but not this time for Crowley. But nevertheless, 12 points to 0 with Matthias Moroni in the bin. They have made full use of their extra man, Stephen Ferris.
Absolutely flying. They really are. The ruck speed is there. Yep. Gibson Park getting the ball away. I think Jack Crowley probably passed the ball more in the opening 6 minutes of this game than he did in all of last week. But they're humming, aren't they? They're absolutely humming. The intensity that they're playing with is great to see. I really, really wanted Argentina to turn up tonight. I know there's a long time to go in this game, but they have to show a bit more. It's a long way back already, nearly from 12-0 down at home.
Ireland have already found a way into the game for two men who perhaps didn't stamp their authority on things a week ago in Jack Crowley and Mac Hansen. Hansen talking in the week about going to hunt the ball. A little bit more action. More touches, more influence.
Thank you.
First meaningful attack really for the Pumas, if you disregard their disallowed try. Delgi into the 22. Matera, 108th cap tonight. Back from suspension. This is Gajo. Some naughty feet, but this time he's been robbed of the ball, and Ireland back in possession.
Looking to move it here as well. Oh.
And a drop ball from Ireland.
It was actually Crowley under the sticks that was roaring for the ball. Turnover of possession. Argentina dropped a few numbers into the backfield, leaving themselves a bit vulnerable up front. Crowley identified it and called for it, but never got to him.
On the ground, please. Here's our mark. Blue scrub. I'll get you to sit, Julian.
Felipe Contaponi, almost an adopted son of this city. So many years he spent here as a coach with Leinster, and a proud servant to the club as a player, of course, as well. Some great days against the Irish as a player for Argentina. World Cups of 1999 and 2007. Great victories for the Pumas over the men in green.
So we both need to be patient and wait for my call. Yeah?
Scrum time's going to be interesting tonight. Good number of years ago, Argentina were renowned for having a meaty pack, weren't they? Well, absolute beasts in there that give any international side a going over. And then they sort of went away from it a little bit. They've got the cohesion back in there. A good solid 8 unit now.
A number down in the back line, so it's going to have to be pretty basic. Ireland won't be thinking of doing anything other than coming straight up off the line. They don't have to worry about drifting man for man, flying off the line and making sure they hit Sinti, who's lining himself up for a carry.
Oviedo from the base for Argentina. Bertranou gets it away. Big shot coming in on Gonzalez. He's driven back by Tyburn. Ireland full of intent this evening.
Advantage, 12 green, offside.
That's a decision that's gone against Robbie Henshaw, so Argentina with a penalty advantage in their pocket. And that one's gone forwards
12 green,
as
offside.
Oviedo muscled his way upfield.
12 green, offside.
And at this point, you would expect Argentina to bank some points.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of minutes left on the decision. Yellow-red card. We're
Here.
still unsure
Julian.
as to what the outcome of that is, but this will
Decision.
take a little bit of that.
Okay, they're going to have a shot clock on. Yes, Richard.
I think we're going to learn about the yellow card right now. Paul Williams looking to hear from our TMO, Richard Kelly.
So camera back on me. Yeah, Julian, just while we've got an opportunity, the yellow card is going to remain a yellow card. Low degree of danger. Yep, okay. Yeah. Oh, yes.
So Matias Moroni will return imminently, another 80 seconds or so. And in the meantime, Thomas Albornoz lines up a shot at goal.
Oh, have a look. Yeah. Thank you. 20 seconds. Still.
Twelve points to 3. Ireland leads, and almost 12 minutes gone.
I think it's a good decision that it stayed a yellow card. I do feel a little bit sorry for Moroni, but we remember what happened. Lavanini, wasn't it? He got red carded back in 2021, and the game sort of just disappeared and was gone for Argentina. So that'll give him a bit of confidence. 3 points on the board on a player to come back on the pitch.
Crowley's restart. Well claimed by Guido Petti, just his second start since the World Cup of 2023. Huge experience. Struggling to make use of this possession though, Argentina. That's going to be Irish ball. The choke tackle affected.
Thank you.
If we get another look at this, James Lowe does a brilliant job here. He comes around, and before anyone engages, he's the first one in. He's entitled. People might think he's offside, but provided no contact is made before he comes in at that angle on the Argentinian side, he's the one that locks it up. It's close because McCarthy comes in almost simultaneously. Referee gives him the benefit of the doubt, but Lowe's upper body strength is able to hold the Argentinian player up and put into Ireland great attacking opportunity for them to launch from. They've been going wide quite a lot this game. They were doing an awful lot in the warm-up. Huge intent around showing their skill set. They didn't get any of that opportunity last week.
Your right foot is all the way back.
A free kick, which James Rutton has ultimately, James Lowe has overrun, and there's a little bit of a knock-on. Argentina with a knock-on advantage, trying to make the most of it from deep inside their 22. Gaja goes to Grams. Albornoz, pressure from Crowley, pressure from Doris. Keenan in the backfield. James Lowe for company. A couple of big tackles that end that excursion. Trying to make it to the wing. Hansen via Henshaw. Here's Beelan. It's a kind of double shifted a week ago against New Zealand. And here come Ireland again. Ringrose straightening really effectively. Clung onto by Ryan. And Beelan again on the carry.
Good job, well done.
Through the middle of the ruck they go. A popped up off the deck by McCarthy. Here comes Ryan, and Ireland are building all over again. Gibson Park to Crowley. His Henshaw, man out wide, bang, straightens and drives and drops. With the line almost at his mercy, 2 men onto him. and I think that's gone forwards.
Looked as though he lost control. The referee's going to have a little look at this one, understandably.
Decision is try here.
He did all the hard work.
We just need to make sure that ball has not been knocked on as he crosses the line. So on-field decision try. Just checking the grounding, please.
Okay, on-field decision try, checking grounding.
It's a magnificent pass from Henshaw. It's a 3-on-2. Defender stays in and he whips it right across. And Byrne does all of the hard work. And loses possession.
They're going to be looking for separation from the hand.
Yep. So, thanks, Richard. So clearly we can see the ball has been knocked on as he crosses the line. It's knocked on in goal, so it's going to be a goal line dropout.
You can see.
No try.
You can see Ty Burney's almost just trundling back. He knew he'd knocked it on. He didn't have control, unfortunately. But I love the variation from Ireland. Getting the width, up the middle, up the guts. Then there's the offload. Big Joe McCarthy to Gibson Park. And they're all just the energy and tempo in their game, and the variation is just absolutely unbelievable this evening.
These goal line dropouts, it's something that Ireland have really worked on since the new ruling has come in.
Argentina.
And the guy to keep an eye on is Caelan Doris. No matter where the ball is kicked, he tends to be the player that's fed, and then something happens the next phase, or potentially in 2 phases. And now Argentina have done their homework, knowing that only too well.
Drubbling into the midfield, and Doris has got some sort of knee on that. But Matera feeds Albornoz, who goes for distance and territory. He's done well to get it in behind Crowley. He's full of confidence now. What a difference a week makes. Ireland looking revved up and full of beans. Lovely pickup as well here from Porter.
Use it!
Ball always dropping on him.
Chaser on.
Gibson Park controlling the tempo and looking to control the middle third of the field. Hansen goes up, it's gone forwards as he looks to release it.
Still knock on here.
It's unlucky, it's good competition in the air. Mac Hansen and Jack Crowley had to turn, get that ball back.
Okay. So it's a penalty.
Here's another look at the try that wasn't.
Okay, boys. Time off. Yeah, Richard. So just looking at potential foul play back here at the last ruck.
Going to show you a croc roll by 3 green.
Okay.
That's Finley
So
Bealham.
we're looking at a potential croc roll by 3 green back here at the last ruck. Yep. So
that's not a good start point. Although he doesn't have him round the neck, it's an awkward clear out.
With the league as well, Richard.
That's really being outlawed these days. I think you could easily see a yellow card coming, even though the player gets away with it. The intent is there around what he's trying to do.
It's a yellow card and off-field review. Yeah. Can we just get that in full speed as well, please, Richard? Just to check the severity of it. And it was 3 green, wasn't it?
Yes, it's 3 green.
Yeah.
Here's your full speed.
Okay. 3 green there. The twist and pull. So, yep, camera back to me, please, mate. So 3 green. That is a clear croc roll. It's dangerous. It's going to be a yellow card. Off-field review. 3.
Finley Bealham to the bin. It's Ireland's turn to go down to 14.
Yeah.
And a very eventful 16.5 minutes. 2 tries from the Irish, a try each chalked off, and 2 yellow cards already.
Yeah, Finley Bealham's had an eventful couple of weeks, hasn't he? 78 minutes last week against New Zealand and having to back it up again this week.
Put time back on.
But yeah, you totally understand. Brian, years ago you were almost taught how to do the old tin opener back in the day to get people away from the breakdown, but it's great that now it's stamped out. Safety first, of course.
We've seen so many serious injuries, so many knee injuries, lower limb injuries, and
okay, so we are having a shot, so shot clock on, please.
It's taken a while to get here, but realizing the severity of some of those, and brought World Rugby in and changed the profile or capacity to clear rucks that way. You cannot use your body weight, you cannot roll as in the motion that you would see a crocodile doing.
Good stuff, boys. Just hold feet there.
Thomas Albornoz, who's been the man at fly half for a good part of this year for Argentina. Santi Carreras, of course, the man in possession before that. A big old haul against the Italians last week.
20 seconds.
And lining up his second shot. Through she goes, and Argentina cut the deficit to a half dozen.
He's deadly, isn't he, with the boot? When the opportunity presents itself, he'll knock between the sticks in Ireland's discipline. And last week it was a big concern. I'm sure it was talked about in numerous meetings during the week with Andy Farrell and the rest of the coaching staff. And just a little bit of inaccuracy around the breakdown by Finlay Bieleman, who's cost his team 3 points.
Time for the Pumas to try to make sure that they can make the most of this numerical advantage. They've dug in through the course of this season, the best ever rugby championship campaign for them this season.
Okay, so inside the 22.
Wins over South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, all in the calendar year. Not something that's done very often. Ireland have done it a couple of times. The England side of 2003 did it back in the day.
Chase her on. Step back.
She goes from Bertrand. Nobody seems to want it. Gibson Park watching. Van der Fleer. Ryan.
Easy. Just a penalty. Just a penalty. Just be careful with their tackles, please, men.
Just legs over the horizontal.
Just a penalty, little lift. Just be more careful, please.
Responsibility is on the tackler to safely bring the tackle player to the ground. You see the legs above the horizontal. That's going to be a tell for the referee to get his whistle out.
Again, there's two players there, isn't it?
Two players and a whole lot of momentum.
Yeah, for sure. But Crowley taking the initiative here, driving his team into the corner. Feel the atmosphere build now, the noise picking up.
Straight over to the pack as well, Crowley. You wanted to see a commanding performance, Brian, from Jack Crowley. He seems to be more vocal, let alone more visible here this evening.
Yeah, and barking orders, and I think you've seen Ireland in the past. They've gone to the corner very often. They back themselves in their maul. Don't think we should expect Crowley to get much possession for a few phases here. They've got to back their capacity to be able to maul. We've got to catch the line out first.
Yeah, Doris has lost it. Gibson Park's got a bit of work on here. Henshaw too.
Good. Okay, no!
Ryan brought to ground by Rubiolo. This young Newcastle Falcons lock. Kelleher got a show of the ball, buffeted in the tackle. Kelleher again, Crowley, quick hands, Porter. Much crisper in the transfer tonight. Too many drop balls, too many wobbly passes against the All Blacks. Crowley shaping up for the drop goal. It's high, and he likes it. Jack Crowley transformed this evening. Bossing it at the Aviva.
He sure is. I'm sure there's a few people down in Corkcon watching the match tonight, sitting, hoping their man had a good game, and he's having a blinder so far, isn't he?
Okay. Argentina 1.
Fantastic drop goal. Keeps the scoreboard ticking, doesn't it?
And yes, Richard.
It looks like a head injury assessment for the Pumas loose head, Thomas Gajo.
The yellow card. The yellow card will remain a yellow card and not a high degree of danger. It will stay a yellow card and not a high degree of danger.
So relief for Ireland, relief for Finlay Bieleman, and another 5 minutes to serve on the naughty step.
Okay, guys, time's going back on.
Drop goal, you can always tell. First person to look at after drop goal is not the crowd, it's the guy who's kicked it, and immediately he turned and started running back to his own half. Henshaw happy to grapple with Delguy.
An excellent clearance, giving Ireland a little bit of breathing space, just as they have on the scoreboard as well. 15 points to 6. Ignacio Cajas, by the way, has come on for Thomas Gajo on the loose head for Argentina in the meantime for the head injury assessment. Montoya is also being removed. This is a blood replacement, we understand. Ignacio Ruiz wearing 16. Argentina won't want to be without Montoya for long. Such an inspiration. So much the heartbeat, let alone the leadership skills that he brings. Ruiz finds Petty. And good line-out ball here for Argentina to work with. Bertranu. Swiftly away. Gonzalez is held. And the ball spits out. Van der Fleer's onto it.
Brilliant from low. He got in immediately. He shut the gate and then got himself into a great jackal position. First player in. That's why he had access to it.
Byrne has to deal with the formidable presence of Rubiolo in front of him, but this is heading aerial. Isgro waits. Good challenge that, and Isgro has it. Offloads nicely. Bertranu cut down by Gibson Park. How good defensively was he a week ago? Covering sort of everywhere. This one's been dropped by Gonzalez, and Ireland will take the scrum just beyond halfway.
Huge pressure from Ireland at the breakdown. It was James Lowe with the first one, getting over, ball spills out, off goes Josh van der Fleer, and then again just little counter rucks, getting stuck into the Argentinian forwards. As we see a man, Ali, coming on. This is a big moment for him. Huge moment.
Thomas Clarkson, a debut on account of Finlay Bealham in the sin bin. It's time for the 24-year-old Leinsterman. No Tom O'Toole, injured last week against the All Blacks, and Van der Fleer is the man they've sacrificed in the meantime. Just 3 minutes to navigate without Finlay Bealham, so it might be a short-lived arrangement at the outset for Clarkson, and nobody quite knows the future for Thomas Clarkson in an Ireland shirt. Early days, big promise, huge man, but these are the sorts of tests he won't have faced, Brian.
And don't come much bigger than the Argentinian front row. He would have gotten himself mentally right over the course of the week, the knowledge that he was going to get some game time. Maybe the expectation wasn't to be this early. He'll have to wait.
A free kick which enables Ireland to try to launch. Porter is summarily dealt with this time.
Hold in front there, boys.
Crowley to the air. Matt Hansen eyes heavenward. Keenan has it.
Play on, guys.
McCarthy.
You've got it front.
And some obstruction.
Ball down. 2. It's gone in front. Create the obstruction.
It's just lacking a little bit of communication, Brian, isn't it? That he's on his shoulder just to give him the ball.
Hold your space and balance.
Let him come on to it harder, or get on the latch and give him a bit of momentum going forward.
When you have that option, you know, to carry the ball to be tipped inside or the one outside, it's so hard for that outside runner to stop their line. And as soon as you realise that you're going to carry, you've got to keep square yourself to make sure you don't double in behind that runner, as happened on that occasion.
Shot is called from Thomas Albornoz.
I think they're waiting on you, so I'd like to see you guys just a little bit more urgent around that setup.
Mildly furrowed brow of Felipe Contepomi, knowing that they've had the extra man over the last 9 minutes. And actually, they've conceded the points through the Crowley drop goal. .40 metres out on the angle, no problem. And Argentina stay in touch. 15 points to 9 now, And just a handful of seconds remaining before Finlay Bealham returns for Ireland.
Ireland need to be very careful. We saw what happened last week. Damien McKenzie kept the scoreboard ticking over. They were trying to thwart the opposition. They gave away some penalties that needed, but some real needless penalties. Got to have a bit more discipline. It's been a real hallmark of this Ireland team over the last, not just the Andy Farrell cycle, but before with Joe Schmidt, being miserly with their discipline, not giving away more than 7 or 8 penalties. That's a few now, and the problem is they've all been kickable.
Oh, brilliantly claimed. Inside the 22 go Ireland. Big muscular challenge from Ruiz, but it's there for Gibson Park. Fast ball to feed Tadhg.
No!
Kelleher shapes to pass to Doris, takes the contact instead. Crowley to the line. Henshaw attacks that space. Porter slipped through that first challenge of Cassius. Hansen, Henshaw again. McCarthy. Keenan into the midfield through Kelleher, setting up this field position, which Lowe is trying to exploit now. Argentina folding back round into their defensive stations. Big shot coming in to stem the flow. Ringrose now. Henshaw again. And Gibson Park is played before having lifted the ball. And Argentina give up the penalty. Just a little bit of overexcitement from Rodrigo Isgro.
Yeah, it's a trait in their game, isn't it? Just those silly penalties so far tonight, and probably over the last number of games, they're guilty of it. When they were in full control, you got to look at the defence. Real discipline, structure's good, getting off the line, making big dominant tackles, and then all of a sudden, just a silly one over the top of the rock, and now they're in the big pressure once again.
Well, Crowley whacks it into, well, deep inside the 22, and Finlay Bealham is back.
Yeah, we're getting a bit of Aviva roar finally. I think the big difference, you're looking at what's the big difference between this week and last week. Well, right now, 75% of the rucks are under 3 seconds. Hasn't been without handling errors, there's been a few of them, but it's their speed at ruck. No defensive system can cope with that many rucks under 3 seconds. The ball away.
James Ryan secures the ball. Yes. And Kelleher is poised.
You're going backwards.
In comes Lowe, amongst others to assist. It's still with Kelleher. Gibson Park wants Crowley a little tighter to him. Ringrose from a standing start. Doris now.
No.
Kelleher. Patient this from Ireland. Quietly through the phases, waiting for those holes, waiting for the moment potentially to go wide. Byrne is on the carry again, and there's some heavyweight defending here from the Pumas. Van der Fleer tries to barge his way through. They stop 5 metres short once again.
Not now, not now.
Crowley. Ringrose. Nearly fooled everyone. Doris arriving late. Kept himself hidden for a while. Makes an extra metre or two. Pumas though all over it. And the ball is theirs. They're being driven back towards their try line, but crucially, Argentina have the ball.
Use it!
Some heroic defending over the last couple of minutes from Argentina. And they may just have dug themselves out of this hole. Bertranou wants it.
Use it!
Create a slightly better kicking angle. We're going to be able to relieve much pressure, albeit it's not the longest of exits, but better than being a couple of metres from the touchline. A little bit of respite for now.
It came out the side. Not for me, not for me.
It does feel like that was a bit of a win for Argentina.
Numbers,
The ball
please,
spun
guys.
out of the side of the ruck once more, but
6.
resilient defence
And we come green.
from the Pumas.
Julian Montoya will return imminently. In the meantime, business to attend to on the defensive front for Argentina yet again. Kelleher to the tail, brilliantly claimed by Ryan. Gibson Park to Henshaw, he's low! Whip wide, through they go! McCarthy has it! 3 for Ireland, and the pressure tells.
I think it was McCarthy just on the back left. It was a lovely ball to the tail of the line out. It almost looked like there was a little confusion. He turned round and all of a sudden he was at the back jumper, but he gets him up in the air. Well secured, and then a lovely little play, Brian, to get James Lowe through a hole.
Oh, brilliant from Henshaw, running with that level of intent, but still being able to get the offload away. Fixes the inside defender because he thinks he's carrying, and the job was half done with that level of momentum. And then when you've got a ball carrier like Joe McCarthy coming from a couple of meters out, it's going to be almost impossible to stop a player of that capacity. Really, really easy, simple try for Ireland, but very, very well worked with good skill level at key moments, particularly from Henshaw.
Crowley converts. McCarthy's second try for Ireland. A little bit of momentum, nice timing. And eventually Argentina couldn't hold out. 22 points to 9. 33 minutes gone. And Ireland get a grip on proceedings as we bear down on half-time.
Use it!
Julian Montoya restored to the Argentine lineup.
2,
Head bandaged.
1.
And Gibson Park caught in possession, and good timing.
Cracking timing. You can hear the referee counting him down. And just before 1, he gets absolutely nailed here. It's a brilliant tackle, didn't he? Dislodging the ball there.
Yours was too far. What are we doing here? Kalen?
Yeah, you can see him looking at the referee, getting the thumbs up from him to go in and make that hit. Well, it's one of these games. As soon as Ireland score, they give possession back, and as soon as Argentina score, they give possession back. Just a couple of mistakes they need to tidy up.
Not too often you see Gibson Park caught, but Julian Montoya has been around the block far too long to miss out on those sort of opportunities. Joint third on the Argentine caps list tonight, equaling Nicolas Sanchez today. Only Crowley and Matera ahead of him on that list.
Boy! Hold there!
A little bit of a nudge on from Ireland, but Argentina with possession. And driving through the middle, through Sinti. And the ball has gone loose, and Ireland have it, and Hansen thinks that the counter-attack might be on. Ringrose to Keenan to Lowe, and off the outside edge of the boots.
Wanted to keep that one in field of play. Brilliant turnover. Initially a good hit from Henshaw, but look at this from Josh van der Fleer. Just grabs the hand of Sinti and uses his momentum as he's been cleared off. He just gets one scraping hand in there.
I did call use it, but I gave you 2 seconds as well.
It's an art form. Such a difficult skill when you're being smashed out of a ruck to still stay in the fight.
Just enough. All those mechanical diggers getting over the top. Argentina conjure here. Less than 5 minutes to half-time. Bertranu to the short side, and Iskro hurdling defenders and bodies up to the 22. Rubiolo. Gajo. restored on the loose head.
Pick and jam is on here. They're not thinking about going anywhere. All 7 or 8 forwards are in and around the ruck, just trying to keep Ireland honest in around that pillar defence.
Matera felt that one. McCarthy and friends barrelling him backwards. What a score for the Pumas would do for their morale at this point. And there are 1 or 2 little holes right around the middle of the ruck.
Just trying to get Ireland the honey pot in, around the breakdown. We're on the back foot, every tackle that they're making. They're losing a couple of yards, and there goes the penalty advantage.
Oviedo's drive providing them with an advantage. Since he goes to ground, the ball is lost again. And back we come.
It's an important tackle from Ringrose. It looked like Cinti was going to get the offload away, but because he got him by the ankles and got him to deck, he couldn't squeeze it away to the oncoming support player. Penalty advantage, but
never back onside.
It could have been more for Argentina.
So decision time here. They're going to try and ride this wave of momentum, Argentina. They turned down the opportunity of 3 points. Albornoz sizing up the corner.
I think they have to. Pivotal moment, 37 minutes on the clock.
Ringrose just gets him right around the ankles, and just as he's looking to get that offload away, he does enough to force him to lose possession.
He's a defensive leader though, Brian, isn't he? When he's leading the line, making the big hits, the dominant tackles, being vocal. Is he the leader in the team when it comes to defence?
I think the big thing as well that he does so well is, and you have to, with your centre, you've got to share the workload. The amount of times that they get the split, ideally you want a centre on each side after the first phase, and how often he's the guy that goes to the far end. That's the difficult one. That's where I used to get Gordon Darcy to do it as much as I possibly could, particularly in my later years. But he's the guy that always puts his hand up, responsible for that extra workload, an incredible engine, but not much bigger than that guy either. Robbie Henshaw hasn't played a huge amount of rugby this year, but consistently so good in the blue of Leinster and in Ireland green. As has that guy been. As is that guy. Great to have 3 centres of that quality competing for 2 spots.
Embarrassment of riches. Argentina though with line-out ball, and Montoya looking for the options here, trying to barrel his way through, trying to bounce off low. A couple of minutes to go in this first half, and you really feel the Pumas need something here. They need to soak up an awful lot to this point. Montoya with the clear out. Argentina still believing here. Tight they come with another penalty advantage. Another drive from Matera. Montoya, little pop pass. Gonzalez is held. Byrne is folding his body underneath him, and it's held up.
Back for the offside, but it's brilliant defence from Ireland. And it's something we're seeing a little bit more of in the game, is dragging them back across the line. If it had been stopped short, you would have been sure that Argentina would have picked and gone, especially with that penalty advantage. A brilliant D to get them out of jail on this occasion.
So from 5 metres out, they'll take another line out. Backing their line out drive, backing their maul. Ty Byrne doing a great job underneath all of that.
Let's go. Numbers, guys. 7.
Crucial moments these for Argentina, you feel. His delivery is strong. The gather is good from Gonzalez.
Advantage.
And he slid the ball away. Ireland have infringed again. Bertranou. Moroni, it's busy in that midfield. Albornoz gets the ball away. Now the bounce. Where's it going? Everywhere but the players. And Keenan knocks it on in the in goal. There'll be a penalty to Argentina anyway.
Yep,
I just wonder if these are beginning to
Time is
stack
off.
up against the Irish, whether there's a question of Paul Williams losing his patience.
A bit of pinball there with that kick over the top, but we're going to see it. I think that was...
3 penalties down here, 2 against yourself. Next one goes to the bin.
I think it was Tag Byrne jumping across the line. The lift wasn't quite there in the defensive line out. And it's actually quite sneaky because as soon as he lands over there, the Argentina can't get them all set. We'll just see him, the lifters just let him go. Look at Finlay Bealham, just lets him go and wants to get straight into the maul defence. And because of that, they can't get their maul set, and that's a penalty that is cheap enough from Tag Byrne.
Does he know what he's doing there?
Oh, I think he does, yeah. Okay, I've lost the ball in the air. Let's just jump over in here and cause a bit of havoc.
He can't blame his tight head. No, he shouldn't have fired me across like that. What did I do?
Tap and go this time from Argentina. Clock in the red at the end of this first half. Trying to get some width on it, but that's a fantastic tackle. It's come in, I think, from Henshaw. Oviedo off on his own. He could do with some support. He's got within 5. Rubiolo waits. Time for the Irish defence to muscle up. They're making life difficult here, at the very least. Oviedo again on the carry. Doris scavenging hard, and the ball has been dislodged, and Ringrose whips it away. And here's James Ryan for Ireland, holding out with the clock in the red, and Ireland will go to the break, leading by 22 points to 9. Another fabulous defensive set. Jack Crowley has produced some of his very best rugby. He scored the first, Mac Hansen the second, Joe McCarthy the third. Argentina yet to score in terms of tries, just 3 penalties from Thomas Albornoz.